You are Locked On 76ers Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Philadelphia, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. This is the 76ers Postcast after that dreadful, awful, embarrassing, out-hustled performance by your Philadelphia 76ers. Welcome in. My name is Mark Farzetta, and yes, this is a 76ers Postcast, and this is brought to you by none other than the great people at Monopoly Go. Make sure you're downloading the Monopoly Go app and take advantage of all they have to offer on Monopoly Go. If you're a fan of the classic Monopoly, then you'll be a huge fan of Monopoly Go. Take advantage of that competitive side with Monopoly Go and all they have to offer at Monopoly Go. And when it comes to Monopoly Go, the best thing about it is that when you admit to yourself you got that competitive side, unlike the Sixers in the fourth quarter, you can show what a big fan you are, at least, of Monopoly Go and the mobile hit twist on the classic Monopoly game. So join your friends and download Monopoly Go now free on the Apple Store and on the App Store and Google Play Store. Usually I started off with three big things. I can't organize my thoughts fast enough to give you three straight up things that were just so bothersome about this game. But what immediately jumps to mind is how awful the Sixers were in the fourth quarter. And you mean to tell me, when I thought Cam Payne was providing the spark this 76ers team needed in that fourth quarter, when I thought he was giving you that little jolt off the bench with some significant minutes in the fourth quarter, when I thought he was giving you 5 points quickly in the fourth quarter, I thought that's all he was doing. Oh, you know what? This is good. Need a little bit of a spark. Joel Embiid's dragon played all of the third quarter. Sixers haven't had a break. They need somebody else to step up. Going into that fourth quarter, Cam Payne on the money, gets a little floater, a little runner there, gets a three-pointer, and all of a sudden things are looking great. Oh, Cam Payne stepping up, that means you're only going to see more from Joel Embiid. You're only going to see more from Tyrese Maxey, and you need just somebody to come out there and start things off right when you have guys like that, your two all-stars, that are without question dragging ass to start out that fourth quarter. And then they didn't show up. And Cam Payne becomes your leading scorer in the fourth quarter. Joel Embiid got 1 point in the fourth quarter. 1 point. And it didn't come until 54 seconds left in that fourth quarter. And within that fourth quarter, you see Joel Embiid pass up a wide open baseline jumper. Now, here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing on that jumper that he passed up. I could understand him not taking that shot. You know what? Get to the lane, get the foul, get the N1. That's probably what he's thinking. But that's not how he acted. You know what Joel Embiid did in that moment? Joel Embiid did what he does often. And at other points in the game, you know, maybe not within the final minute of a playoff game where you're being threatened to go down 3-1 in a series before you go on the road to MSG for game 5. You know what? Every other time, it's pretty much acceptable to go for that foul. That's how you play your game. That is the worst possible instance to go for the foul call. If you're going to pass up on that shot and at least try to drive the lane and get fouled, you better go to the rim strong and throw it down. But instead of pulling up from the baseline jumper right there, he drives and then goes up lazily. And did he get fouled? There's a little bit of a foul there. Should it have been called? Yeah, probably should have been called. But Joel Embiid did not go up strong. He came up extremely small in a huge moment. And look, Tyrese Maxey wasn't any better in that fourth quarter. He in no way, shape, or form gets any kind of pass for the way he played in that fourth quarter because he only had 4 points in that fourth quarter. That, too, was abysmal, inexcusable. But this is still Joel Embiid's team. And he's the one leg or nothing, he's got to step up and make sure he goes at least hard to the basket. If you're going to pass up that baseline jumper, you go hard to the rim. And he didn't do either. He made an aggressive move, and when I first saw him pass it up, I went, that was my reaction to watching that. No excuse. There are people, I see people, this is, what's the word I saw people using? Choked. Sixers choked. Sixers choked in game 3. I've seen that word being thrown a lot already on social media. They choked. In game 4, they choked. Stop it. They did not choke. Choke is kind. Choke means they actually had opportunities and they just completely whiffed multiple times. They ran out of gas. They got out-hustled. I'd honestly rather a team choke than get out hustled, because at least when you choke, you look like you give a damn. In this game, in this fourth quarter in particular, they just got blown off the basketball. They got ridiculously out hustled. Offensive rebounds. It reminded me of game 2 is what it reminded me of, because going into that fourth quarter, offensive rebounds in general were pretty even. And then all of a sudden you're getting third chance points by the Knicks. And even if the Knicks can't convert on a third chance point, they're getting fouled going hard to the rim. It was beyond frustrating to watch the way the 76ers, I'm not even going to say closed out that game, played in the fourth quarter. And even to call that playing is also way too optimistic. And it just looked like from the start of that fourth quarter, other than Cameron Payne stepping up, everybody else was just shot. And I was waiting for a moment there. And I've seen some people ripping Nick Nurse as well. You have Joel Embiid play every minute of the last 2 quarters, every minute of the second half. I'll say this, that awful call where they said Joel Embiid turned the basketball or threw a bad pass, and it was a bad pass, to Tyrese Maxey on that outlet where they called Tyrese Maxey for stepping out of bounds, and he did not step out of bounds, and the referee that made the call is right there, so I don't know what the hell he was looking at. But one thing I was actually grateful for is like, oh, okay, this gives Joel Embiid a couple of minutes and not having to play. This is like sitting him on the bench, and I'm sure that was part of Nick Nurse's thinking. Oh, we had a long layoff here as they reviewed the play. That gives Joel Embiid a little bit of a breather. That's a good thing. But still, even with that, looked awful. Absolutely 1,000% awful. And if you're going to be the guy to sit at the locker at MSG and talk about how you're the better team and you're going to win this series, then you know what you need? Not just one great performance in game 3 in particular to help guide your team to a win on your own home court. Good for you for that. But you need to make sure over the next handful of games, however many it takes to win this series, that you're putting your best foot forward every minute you got, on one leg or not. And I didn't see that in the fourth quarter. I saw a guy looking to get bailed out by foul calls. I saw a guy shying away from contact underneath. I saw a guy relying on that outside shot until it mattered most. And that's when he decides to go hard to the basket. Pitiful. Absolutely pitiful. There was one possession in particular in that fourth quarter that just really stuck out to me. And oh my goodness gracious, Sixers were down 1 point at this time. And Tyrese Maxey, Kelly Oubre, Tobias Harris touched the ball all on the perimeter. Joel Embiid got it at the foul line at one point, kicked it right back out. And wherever the ball went, boom, 2 New York Knicks just appeared. Just appeared. They were all over the place. And it was the possession where Joel Embiid tried jacking up that shot at the absolute last second, and it got blocked out of bounds, and they got called for the shot clock violation. You get a shot clock violation in that instance. You have your MVP, your reigning NBA MVP. We could say that for what, like a couple more days at most. You have him passing up wide open jump shots to attack the rim hard, and then when he goes up soft. You have Tyrese Maxey coming up with 4 points in that fourth quarter. You have Cameron Payne, who didn't even step foot in a game in this playoff series until game 3, leading your team in that fourth quarter. That is pathetic. And you want to take it seriously? Joel Embiid, hey, look, I love the speech, man. That was a great speech. We're not going to lose. We're going to win. Then after game 3, I do it for the city, my teammates, my family. I do it for everybody. Hey, that's great. What happened in the fourth quarter? Where's the pep talk after that fourth quarter? Did the Knicks just go out there and rip your hearts out? Is that what happened? Because that's what it looked like. It looked like they just went over to your gas tank and emptied it all as that fourth quarter kept going on. That is awful. Absolutely awful. And after that kind of performance on your home court, where you gave all those Knicks fans in attendance, and oh my goodness, were they coming through? Were they really coming through the TV of the national audience, the national TV game tonight on ABC? Was it really coming through? And was it referred to time and time again how it sounded like a Knicks takeover in South Philadelphia? Inexcusable. And now all those fans that came down to the stadium and to cheer you on, you gave the other fans that drove the 2.5 hours down from New York to sit at Wells Fargo Center and rub it into your fans' faces as they get to leave the building. That's terrible. There's no excuse for that whatsoever. And to call it a choke job is being kind. You got outplayed. You got out-desired is what you did. absolutely pathetic. Josh Hart gets in foul trouble. Nobody's driving hard on him. Hammerstein gets into foul trouble. He barely plays after that, getting 5 fouls in the third quarter. I thought, oh, this is going to be great. OG Anunoby was D'ing him up 1,000 times better. Lower center of gravity, bullying Joel Embiid at times. To the point where Joel Embiid, at least I guess, had the presence of mind to be like, well, this ain't going to be for me, so somebody else has got to do it, and nobody else did it. Kelly Oubre is the only guy that I saw actually be, other than Cam Payne, Kelly Oubre is the only guy I saw go out there and actually act like, do an impression of somebody that wanted to win the basketball game. Got Nico Batum getting rejected like he's playing against Shaq down low. It's just pathetic the way they ended that game. And now you want to think, maybe they'll scrounge together a better back against the wall type of thing. Their backs were against the wall in that fourth quarter. And when you see Brunson just got them over the hump before that fourth quarter, if you remember, just got him over the hump where he got a bucket right before the end of the third quarter. He gave the Knicks, it ended up being a 77-76 lead. He went to the foul line is what he did. He got the end one situation there, made the 13-foot floater to tie the score at 76. And then Brunson came up, knocked down the free throw. You get a 1-point lead coming out of that third quarter. Then you go into the fourth quarter, and what ends up happening, that's when the wheels just completely came off the machine for the Sixers. Cam Payne got you the floater to make it a 78-77 game in favor of the Sixers. Then Miles McBride reared his ugly head again. He knocked down a 3 to go up 2. Cam Payne answered with the 3. And I thought, oh, if Cam Payne's getting this done, then, oh, man, just wait till you get the 10, 15-point fourth quarter from Joel Embiid. Wait till you get the key defensive rebounds and not giving the second and third chance points to the Knicks that Joel Embiid's going to dominate on the boards. Wait till all that unfolds. And it never unfolded. We'll break it down further as to how the 76ers just absolutely let this game slip away. And really how the Knicks, give them all the credit in the world. Knicks took this. If you're a Knicks fan, you're watching this, you're listening to this, your boys rallied in that fourth quarter. There's respect where respect is due. I hate to admit it. Sixers just rolled over. And the Knicks were there. The Knicks tasted blood in the water. Oh, my goodness gracious, and just took control of the game. We'll break down that fourth quarter demise coming up in a second. You're watching Locked On 76ers postcast on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. We come back, we'll talk about some of the turning points there in the fourth quarter where the Knicks just rolled. And one number that if you would have told me this if you would have told me this after the game, I still wouldn't have believed you unless I actually watched it play out. But absolutely bonkers. Get to in a second here on Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. You guys have heard me talking about how incredible Nissan is. If you haven't experienced how great Nissan is, you're missing out here. Nissan, if you're the kind of driver that likes to push things a little further, ever wonder what the adventure could be around the corner? Our friends at Nissan have a lineup of SUVs with capabilities to take your adventure to the next level. The 2024 Nissan Rogue, perfect for city drives as well as great escapes. Class exclusive Google built-ins. It's your way for updating the assistant to call on for mostly anything. Gone are the days of connecting your phone. Google Assistant, as well as Google Maps and Google Play Store, are built right in to an amazing 12.3-inch HD touchscreen infotainment system. The 2024 Rogue is perfect midsize crossover for your next adventure. And my personal favorite, the Nissan Armada. The 2024 Nissan Armada will change what you expect from a full-size SUV. Picture a rugged 4x4 that can seat up to 8 in first-class luxury and style. Tow bigger and explore further with the 2024 Nissan Armada. Take Nissan Rogue. How about Nissan Pathfinder as well? Nissan Armada, and go find your next big adventure. Shop NissanUSA.com. That's shopNissanUSA.com. Shop NissanUSA.com. Now I'll tell you about Monopoly Go a little bit more. You could team up with your friends on Monopoly Go for timed tournaments where you work together and build up each other's boards when you're talking about Monopoly Go, a mobile app that is fantastic and gives a nice little updated spin on the classic Monopoly game. So if you're a fan of classic Monopoly, you'll love Monopoly Go. The more you win together with your friends and your friend group, the more awesome prizes you can unlock. And there's so much to get into. When you talk about unique stickers, you can trade with a friend to compete complete albums for big prizes, cool new playing pieces as well to travel with the boards. Hilarious emojis so you could taunt your friends and talk some trash, and also make sure you heist their own values in Monopoly Go. Heist their vaults, their values, everything they got, you can take it. Plus, Monopoly Go feels new and exciting every day with constantly changing tournaments and challenges. A ton of changes that they've made, upgrades. Unique mini games like digging for treasure or robot machine that you could go up against. There's always new timed events that help you win big, like massive multipliers for everything you win or rent. It's a good time. You got to try out Monopoly Go. There's always something fun to discover in Monopoly Go. So go make sure you download the app on the Google Play Store as well as the App Store. Game on, Monopoly Go. All right, let me see what's going on here in the chat. Let me hop in here. Pop it in now. Say fire Daryl Morey. Says crazy. Get rid of Tobias Harris. Stinky butt. All right, it's good analysis. Have a good show. Thank you, crazy. Appreciate you. Ari. Thank you, Ari. Sorry, friends. Yep. I concur. Nope, I get what you're saying there. No need to correct yourself. Appreciate you. So we talked about that moment where Tyrese Maxey allegedly stepped out of bounds and it was called, and it shouldn't have been called. I was a little happy about that because I thought it would give Joel Embiid a little bit of a rest. At that point in the game, you're talking about an opportunity there with about 6 minutes left. You're down 4 points where things can start to turn in the Sixers' favor. With a little bit of downtime there for Joel Embiid without having to take him out of the game, it was great. Maxey actually came down at one point after that after that missed call that was overturned in the Sixers' favor. Maxey came down with a layup and made it a 1-point game, 88-87. I was ready to go. At this point. Then the Sixers got an absolute gift of a no call when they were down 3 points. If you remember this play, Jalen Brunson with about 4 minutes left, Jalen Brunson gets a loose ball, runs after it, and gets just chopped in the face by, I believe it was Kyle Lowry, trying to prevent him from getting to the basketball. Rather than continue his pursuit, Jalen Brunson just stopped and turned around looking at the officials like, what the hell, no call on that? Meanwhile, Tom Thibodeau is just like, no call on that? The same thing. Sixers get the ball back and can't capitalize on the opportunity. And in that moment, that's when the Sixers had the shot clock violation that I mentioned earlier, and they couldn't convert anything after that. So you get the awful call with Maxey, where he allegedly stepped out of bounds. They overturn it. He makes the layup to make it a 1-point game. And then after the Sixers attempted to make it something worth anything, the ball goes out of bounds, and the Sixers still trailing by 1 point. After that, Brunson was able to come down and hit an easy layup. Kelly Oubre actually had a nice dunk there. That was good. Made it a 1-point game again. And then McBride went to the line for free throws. And after that, the Sixers scored 2 points. 3 points after that, all on foul shots. In total, and this is what I wouldn't have believed you. As I told you before the break, one thing I would not believe after watching that fourth quarter is if you told me the final score of that fourth quarter, just the scoring in that fourth quarter. The New York Knicks outscored Philadelphia 76ers by 4 points. 4 points. It wasn't like the Knicks put up 35 to the Sixers 20 in the fourth quarter. It wasn't like the Sixers had plenty of opportunities and they just missed some conversion points. It wasn't like that. It was a 4 point. It's the biggest 4-point domination I've ever seen in a quarter. Sixers never had a rhythm. And there were opportunities in terms of the Knicks missing wide open shots. Plenty of opportunities like that. But yet they would get the rebound. They'd be able to find the feed underneath. They'd be able to get the easy layup on the second chance points. They'd be able to hit a 3 on a second chance point. They'd be able to get fouled and go to the line on a third chance opportunity. 4 points, 20-16 in that fourth quarter. So the number one thing that sticks out to me about that is, again, Cam Payne is your number one scorer, and you mean to tell me nobody else could step up. It was there for the taking. Even a little spurt from Joel Embiid, and you win this game. A spurt from Tyrese Maxey, you win this game. Kelly Oubre knocks down a couple. Nico Batum, a 4-point game. You had to win the quarter by 6 points in order to win the game. You lost by 4. That is bonkers to me. Absolutely bonkers. You went into it down a point, you lose it by 4. You need 6 points from somebody. And Cam Payne's your leading scorer. That is, I'm going to wake up tomorrow. I'm going to wake up the morning of game 5 and go, wow, Cam Payne in the fourth quarter. Nobody could score. Maxey, Embiid, nobody else. You didn't even have 2 threes. Hell, Cam Payne in the third quarter hit the fourth quarter, hit the first 3 off the bench for the Sixers. In the fourth quarter. This is another game where the bench didn't help you much. 6 points, which, by the way, is the lowest the bench has scored in this series, and that's saying something. The only problem is this was supposed to be a building game, a game you're supposed to build off game 3 and build on it in game 4. You did worse. Worse. 18 points in game 3 off the bench, 11 of those were Cameron Payne's. And then nobody can step up and help the bench this time around. If you're Buddy Hield, you're looking around going, all right, maybe I can help this team. If he gets the opportunity to, which I doubt. Again, you can call it a choke job, but that is being very, very, very kind. All right. When we come back, we'll talk about what the Sixers could do on the next go of it. We'll get to that in a few. You're a Locked On Sports Philadelphia on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, Locked On 76ers Postcast. This is where I can tell you about DoorDash. Now, you might think about DoorDash when it comes to a lot of different things. When it comes to DoorDash, you love DoorDash. Everybody loves DoorDash. The incredible things that you could get using DoorDash. Well, keep DoorDash in mind when you're talking about Mother's Day coming up in just 2 weeks. Use promo code Locked On NBA. That's Locked On NBA to get 50% off your next order, up to $15 when you spend $15 or more on your next flower arrangement for mom, or for you, convenience, grocery. Maybe you do the grocery order for your mom, maybe. And retail order now on DoorDash. That's promo code Locked On NBA. That's Locked On NBA when you order using DoorDash today. Remember, terms do apply. We all want to make sure that we take care of mom for Mother's Day, and DoorDash offers you a way to do so in a very efficient way. So get the thoughtful gifts that mom absolutely deserves, with the convenience that you need in your busy life with your busy schedule. Choose same-day delivery or schedule a week ahead of time for when you want to have flowers or gifts arrive in time for Mother's Day. And take care of mom with DoorDash. Order now and get everything you need for Mother's Day on DoorDash. Use promo code Locked On NBA. That's Locked On NBA to get 50% off your next order, up to $15 off when you spend $15 or more on your next flower delivery, convenience, grocery, or retail order now on DoorDash. Make sure you use promo code Locked On NBA using DoorDash. DoorDash today. Terms apply. Take care of mom with DoorDash. Going ahead, and this was my concern in game 2, this was, of course, my concern in game 1 of this series. Joel Embiid is not going to get healthier as games or as a series goes on. And if Joel Embiid, and we already know he's not 100%, yeah, he might be able to dig down deep and get you 50 in a game 3, first game at home. He might be able to dig down deep and find something, the next gear, if you will. But to say he's going to do that again in game 5 on the road, to say he's going to do it again in game 6, to say he's going to do it again in game 7, Joel Embiid isn't going to get better as this series goes on. He was cooked in the fourth quarter of this game. Total honesty, I was surprised that Nick Nurse started him in the fourth quarter. I know it was a 1-point game, but I thought you got to give him some kind of a rest here. Got to have him some opportunity to catch your breath. And I know at the 6-minute mark, I mentioned the out-of-bounds play with Maxey, and you had to review it, give a little bit of time off. Yeah, but how about time where he's sitting down on the bench? That would have been good too. That plus the bonus break you didn't know you were going to get. I'll take that too. I was surprised. Do I think it was the reason that he was cooked in that fourth quarter? No. Here's the thing. You can't say that Joel Embiid was absolutely out of gas. You can't use the excuse that Joel Embiid is absolutely out of gas when with about a minute left, he passes up on that opportunity to take that wide open baseline jumper and instead go for the more exasperating, exhausting play of putting the ball on the floor and going to the basket, only to, again, go up lazily, lethargically, and not get the foul call. I would love to say, oh, well, Joel Embiid's just cooked. He had nothing left in the tank. But the minute you make that aggressive move to the basket instead of an easy, like think about how many times Joel Embiid has looked gassed, but pulled up from the top of the key and shot a three. A lot. Think about how many times Joel Embiid has competed for the rebound, not gotten it, and then when you can, go to the other end of the offensive side of the court, he's just coming into the frame where he stops, plants at the top of the key, and shoots a lazy three, misses, and then he just kind of trots down the other side. If he's going to be in that kind of mode, which he was today in the fourth quarter especially, then you can't be putting the ball on the court in that instance when you have a wide open jump shot. That shows you got at least something. You got something left in the tank. To me, this is the Sixers being cooked. Just absolutely done. Absolutely 1,000%. And the fact that you didn't play since what, Thursday? You had time. You had time to recover. You had time to rest. And by the time the fourth quarter rolled around, you had nothing. Joel Embiid's last bucket of the game, I want to say, came with about a minute 50 left in the third quarter. That was his last field goal. The entire fourth quarter without a field goal. Now, if I tell you that, what do you have, like 9 free throws? What do you have, 10 free throws? Nope. He did not. If you're asking me, I think absolutely the Sixers are cooked. And I think this is going to be a very happy New York fan base after Game 5 back in Madison Square Garden. I hate to say that, but this just looks like a team that is done. If Maxey can't step up for you, Maxey's going to have to drop 50 in Game 5 to have a chance because it looked like Joel Embiid is just done. And you want to talk about a team that in 2 days is going to come back Tuesday night, ready to fire on all cylinders? I mean, I would love to say that I got confidence, and all of a sudden the Sixers saying, "Oh, you know what? We got this. We're gonna keep fighting. We're gonna force a Game 6." But their backs were against the wall in that fourth quarter, and their two biggest stars were no-shows. And if I was to say that there was one major takeaway for what the Philadelphia 76ers did, it's what happened in that fourth quarter. I don't know any other button to push. If you're Nick Nurse, yeah, you could have sat Joel Embiid, but he showed you had enough in the tank to charge the rim. Absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. Here's the good news, though. Double dip of postcasts today, okay? We have the Sixers postcast right here, and then coming up a little bit later today, the Phillies are looking for the sweep against San Diego Padres. I saw it was a 2-0 lead already in favor of your Philadelphia Phillies, so that's something. So at least hopefully we'll talk about a fourth consecutive win for the Phils, talk about a Philadelphia team winning, and also talk about, I saw it come up on my phone, Bryson Stott coming up with a 2-run home run there in the first inning. Second inning. Yeah, I'll take it. So that's what we got going on. So Phillies postcast coming up in a couple hours after the Phillies look like they'll close out the sweep against San Diego Padres. We'll get you guys that right here on Locked On Sports Philadelphia. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and all that good stuff right here to Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel as well. My name is Mark Barzetta. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Be back with you guys on this channel for Phillies postcast in a couple hours. Thanks again for watching. Be back with you guys in a couple hours right here on Locked On Sports Philadelphia.